As the presidential elections of 2024 approaches, people all across the world are watching how American politics are changing. Once again, Donald Trump has dominated headlines with his aggressive and unrelenting campaign. This time, the rumor mill is circling around his many public appearances with the contentious Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer is an incredible woman and a genuine patriot. In the midst of these heated arguments, Jon Stewart just dropped the bombshell on Trump and Laura Loomer. In reality, what is happening? In this video, we address some long-standing questions and rumors. Let us pause for a moment to consider Donald Trump's political career and presidency before we go further. Early life and education of Donald Trump. Donald John Trump came into this world on June 14, 1946, in New York City's Jamaica Hospital, located in Queens. Fred Trump and Mary Ann McLeod. Trump had 4 children together. He is the 4th. Trump and his siblings Robert, Mary Ann, Fred Jr., and Elizabeth all spent their childhoods in the Jamaica Estates section of Queens. Trump attended the prestigious Kew Forest School from kindergarten through 7th grade, where he received his early education. His religious upbringing was also noticed by his parents. In 1959, he was confirmed at the First Presbyterian Church in Jamaica, Queens, where he had attended Sunday school. His early exposure to religious beliefs and the regimented nature of his schooling shaped his formative years. At 13 years old, Trump was sent to the Stern private boarding school known as the New York Military Academy. He spent his high school years here, where he learned to be disciplined and to take the lead. After Trump finished at the Military Academy in 1964, he enrolled at Fordham University. Having spent 2 years at Fordham, he subsequently switched to the prestigious Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, which is focused on business and finance. Trump received his bachelor's degree in economics from Wharton in May 1968. Both his academic achievements and the controversy surrounding his educational background made his time at college noteworthy. In 2015, during Trump's presidential campaign, his lawyer Michael Cohen threatened to sue the College Board, Trump's high school, and any universities that could expose Trump's academic records. This action suggested that Trump's educational accomplishments were delicately handled. Another watershed moment in Trump's life occurred during his time as an undergraduate, the Vietnam War. A total of 4 student draft deferments were granted to him over this time. At first, Trump was cleared to serve in the military after a medical check he had in 1966. But a local draft board had already determined that he was qualified to serve by July 1968. Because of his military eligibility, he may have been drafted at a period when the draft was in full swing. A conditional medical deferment, or 1Y classification, was granted to Trump in October 1968, altering his status. He was not immediately ready for service. Thus, that's why he was classified as such. But he might be drafted at a later date. The reclassification of Trump as 4F, meaning medically unfit for military service, did not occur until 1972. The diagnosis of bone spurs in his heels was the last hurdle that disqualified him from any possible military service. What does Jon Stewart reveal about Trump and Laura Loomer? And how did he become president? Find out by continuing to watch. Donald Trump's marriages and family life. Ivana Zelníková, a model who was born in Czechoslovakia, was the bride that Donald Trump wed in 1977. She was originally from the Czechoslovak Republic. It was the beginning of a crucial chapter in Trump's personal life when they went through with their marriage. The 3 children that they brought into the world were all born together. In 1977, they welcomed their first child, a son named Donald Jr. In 1981, they welcomed their daughter, Ivanka, into the world. It was in 1984 when they welcomed their second son, Eric. However, the increasing size of their family brought with it the pressures of living a public life. The media was able to obtain information regarding Trump's romance with actress Marla Maples, which ultimately led to the dissolution of Trump and Ivana's marriage in the year 1990. Not only did the controversy become the breaking point in their relationship, but it also became the breaking point in Trump's public image. Donald Trump divorced Ivana and married Marla Maples in 1993, the same year that Tiffany, the couple's daughter, was born. Tiffany was born in 1993. Their marriage was constantly under the scrutiny of the media because of the nature of their relationship. However, that relationship did not work out either, and in 1999, they divorced with no children. After the divorce, Tiffany was reared primarily by her mother, Marla, and she spent her childhood in California, which was a significant distance away from the public eye that her father frequently drew. The year 2005 marked the beginning of Trump's third marriage when he went in with Melania Knauss, another model who was originally from Slovenia. This partnership brought a new facet to the activities that took place within the Trump family. Barron, their son, was born in 2006, and they were both happy to welcome him into the world. In addition to these aspects of his personal life, what are some others? Well, let's find out. Donald Trump's beliefs and lifestyle. In the 1970s, Donald Trump's parents became members of Marble Collegiate Church, connected to the Reformed Church in America. But then the church said in 2015 that Trump was not a real member at all. This small truth highlights the rather turbulent love affair Trump is having with organized religion. Still, he has developed close relationships with religious leaders all his life, especially during his tenure in office. Then in 2019, Trump made a significant action by appointing Paula White, televangelist and personal pastor, to the White House Office of Public Liaison. In the field of American evangelicalism, White has been a divisive figure. Her appointment showed Trump's attempts to have close relations with the religious community. Trump was defined as a non-denominational Christian by 2020, a designation that captures his effort to appeal to a wide spectrum of religious supporters. Trump also often makes assertions, particularly regarding his way of life, including his health. He claims he has never drunk alcohol, smoked cigarettes, or taken drugs. His public persona now mostly consists of this picture of himself as a substance-free man. Trump claims that although he barely gets 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night, it keeps him lively and attentive toward his work. Regarding physical fitness, Trump has called golf his main kind of exercise. He does, however, typically want to ride in a cart instead of walking the golf course, which begs concerns about his degree of physical activity. Trump's quite unusual perspective of exercise is that it saps the body's limited energy, likening it to running out of a battery. During his presidential campaign in 2015, Trump's personal physician at the time, Dr. Harold Bornstein, made a declaration stating Trump would be the healthiest person ever chosen to be president. On Trump's side, this was a bold pledge meant to make him seem to the American people vibrant and aggressive. But in 2018, Dr. Bornstein exposed that Trump himself had really dictated the contents of the letter, implying a more planned approach to his health story. Bornstein also asserted that during their February 2017 office search, Trump's personnel stole his medical data. Hence, there is a big debate about this. What some of his endeavors were prior to his political career. Stay tuned to get the specifics. Donald Trump's business career. In 1968, Donald Trump joined his father's real estate company, Trump Management, to start his real estate career. Ownership and management of segregated middle-class rental houses in New York City's outer boroughs was the primary emphasis of this enterprise. When Trump assumed office as president in 1971, he started rebranding his businesses as the Trump Organization. Over time, Trump had a number of financial difficulties. He filed for Chapter 11, bankruptcy 6 times between 1991 and 2009, impacting companies like Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, many casinos in Atlantic City, and Manhattan's Plaza Hotel. Trump first came to the attention of the public in 1978 when his family's first important Manhattan project, the Commodore Hotel refurbishment, was completed across from Grand Central Terminal. There was a lot of support for this idea. A pivotal moment in Trump's career occurred when the hotel reopened as the Grand Hyatt Hotel in 1980. In the same year, he also secured development rights for Trump Tower, a mixed-use building in Midtown Manhattan that would serve as his principal home until 2019. When Trump purchased the Plaza Hotel in 1988, he obtained financing from 16 different institutions. Regretfully, the hotel experienced financial difficulties and declared bankruptcy in 1992. Notwithstanding these obstacles, Trump persisted in pursuing audacious endeavors. The 71-story skyscraper at 40 Wall Street, which he aptly dubbed the Trump Building, was acquired and restored by him. He also created Riverside South, a real estate development beside the Hudson River. Due to financial difficulties, he sold Asian investors the majority of his stake in these in the early 1990s. In Atlantic City, Trump launched Harrah's at Trump Plaza, a casino and hotel, in 1984. The Holiday Corporation provided early management and financial backing for the establishment. He bought the shuttered Hilton Hotel in Atlantic City the next year and renamed it Trump Castle. However, both casinos soon encountered difficulties and filed for Chapter 11 in 1992. In 1988, Trump also bought the Trump Taj Mahal, which had financial difficulties when it first opened in 1990. Trump Hotels Casino Resorts, THCR, was established in 1995 and took over management of Trump Plaza. Later, in 1996, this business bought both the Taj Mahal and Trump Castle. However, it eventually declared bankruptcy in 2004 and again in 2009, leaving Trump with a meager 10% ownership position. Up until 2009, he remained the chairman. Trump also ventured into the club and golf course industries in the 1980s and 1990s. He purchased the Palm Beach property Mar-a-Lago estate in 1985, and in 1995 he turned it into a private club. Thus, he began creating and acquiring golf courses in 1999. In the end, he used the Trump brand to acquire 14 golf facilities and oversee 3 more across the globe. Additionally, Trump has branded a wide range of goods and services for consumers, including sheets, shirts, and steaks. The Trump brand had over 50 licensing or management agreements by 2018, which greatly increased its revenue. In 2004, Trump co-founded Trump University, a business that charged up to $35,000 for real estate lectures. However, the name was changed to the Trump Entrepreneur Initiative in 2010 because New York state authorities warned them that the university's use violated state law because it was not an accredited institution. In 1988, Trump also founded the Donald J. Trump Foundation. However, its management drew criticism. Trump gave the organization a total of $4 million between 1987 and 2006. However, he stopped giving after that. A 2016 Washington Post piece clarified some of the moral and legal issues surrounding the foundation, including potential tax infractions and self-dealing. The foundation was forced to cease its fundraising efforts in New York after the Attorney General avowed New York determined that it had broken state law by accepting donations without doing the required audits. As a result, in 2016, Trump declared the foundation to be closed. Was this the only thing that made Trump rich? Which additional sources of income did he have? We would quickly find out. Donald Trump's TV career. There are 19 books that Donald Trump has published with the assistance of ghostwriters, although his name is still attributed as the author. His first book, The Art of the Deal, which was published in 1987, went on to become a bestseller and considerably strengthened his public image as a symbol of successful business ownership. The book, on the other hand, was written fully by Tony Schwartz, who also functioned as the chief author of the book. In the eyes of the media, this effort was a significant contributor to the formation of Trump's identity. Trump had cameo appearances in a wide range of films and television shows between the years 1985 and 2001, which contributed to the further enhancement of his celebrity recognition. Over the course of the 1990s, he made approximately 24 guest appearances on The Howard Stern Show, in which he appeared frequently. Trump was a talk radio program that he hosted from 2004 to 2008. However, it was only on the air for a brief period of time. However, his public career was fully characterized by his role as co-producer and host of the reality television shows The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice from 2004 to 2015. These shows aired from 2004 to 2015. Over the course of several programs, a highly stylized version of Trump was shown as a successful CEO, along with his famous catchphrase, "You're fired," and which became memorable. Several licensing deals, in addition to the enormous popularity of these programs, are said to have contributed to his earnings of more than $400 million. Unfortunately, a considerable number of the businesses in which he invested this money did not produce a significant amount of profit. In February of 2021, Trump who had been a member of SAG-AFTRA since 1989, resigned from the union in order to avoid being subjected to a disciplinary hearing in connection with the events that occurred on January 6th, when the Capitol was attacked. Significant changes occurred in his connection with the entertainment business as a result of the union's decision to permanently prevent him from returning to work after he resigned from his position. With everything out of the way, let's go on to the beginning of his political adventure. Donald Trump's political journey in 2016 presidential campaign. A number of times, Donald Trump has changed his party allegiance. He became a Republican in 1987. He became an Independence Party member in 1999. In 2001, he switched parties and became a Democrat. After re-affiliating with the GOP in 2009, he stepped away in 2011 before making a triumphant return in 2012. The full-page newspaper ads that Trump ran in the 1980s were a source of national attention. In them, he voiced his opinions on foreign policy and supervised a laundry list of grievances against congressional expenditures. When regarded as a whole, these advertisements and the haughty tone with which they were written lay the groundwork for Trump's present political rhetoric. Despite the fact that Trump initially sought the presidency in the year 2000, his early aspirations were mostly dismissed. The media started paying close attention to Trump, and he gained considerable clout within the party. His fame undoubtedly had a role. His contentious comments and delivery also contributed to this. A number of Republicans were eagerly anticipating Trump's candidacy. After 8 years of Democratic rule, they felt the party needed a dynamic leader to reclaim the White House. He referred to his delivery as genuine hyperbole. The media's bias against him and his refusal to be politically correct were significant themes of his campaign. The announcement of Trump's presidential campaign was made in June 2015. Many in the political science community first dismissed his effort. However, by March 2016, he had already established himself as the clear favorite. Despite trailing Hillary Clinton in national polls, he began to make headway in mid-July. Both Trump and Pence were formally nominated for vice president at the 2016 Republican National Convention, but Trump ultimately chose Mike Pence. Trump faced Clinton in 3 debates during the campaign. Not only that, but he controversially chose not to state his acceptance of the election results at the 3rd debate. With 306 electoral votes to Clinton's 232, Trump was elected president on November 8, 2016. However, due to a handful of electors switching their votes, the official Electoral College total reads 304 to 227. His triumph was a stunning political upset, especially considering Trump's narrow loss in the popular vote, nearly 2.9 million ballots. Further, he became the first president to be elected without a background in the military or government, and the 6th president in United States history to do so without receiving a majority of the popular vote. True, Trump prevailed because he shattered the Democratic grip on traditionally blue states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. On top of that, he brought 30 states to Clinton's, including 20 states plus D.C. The Republican Party was able to regain control of the House of Representatives and the White House with his election. Massive demonstrations against Trump's leadership broke out in every major U.S. city after his inauguration. Protests included women's marches, which attracted millions of participants worldwide. In Washington, D.C. alone, almost 500,000 people showed up to show their disapproval of the president and his administration. In what ways was Trump's presidency marked? Was America made great by him? We'll have to see. Trump's time as president. On January 20, 2017, Donald Trump was voted as the 45th president of the United States. In his first week of office, he issued 6 executive orders covering a wide range of topics, including international trade, border security, health care, and environmental policies, among them, his much-discussed plans to build a wall with Mexico. His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was a top advisor, and his daughter, Ivanka, became the president's aide. The extraordinary economic boom that began in 2009 and lasted until the COVID-19 recession in February 2020 was in full swing when Trump assumed president. In December 2017, he signed the massive tax cuts and jobs bill, which reduced taxes for both individuals and companies. However, The individual taxes are scheduled to sunset in 2025, but the business taxes were made permanent. Additionally, it eliminated the Affordable Care Act's individual mandate penalty. Notably, Trump disregarded the scientific consensus on climate change, slashing funding for research into renewable energy by 40% and rolling back many of the environmental regulations put in place under the Obama administration. He promoted the use and export of more fossil fuels while withdrawing from the Paris Agreement, making it the only country not to have ratified it. Drilling and resource extraction limitations were loosened under his administration, which also reversed over 100 environmental rules. Trump promoted deregulation during his presidency and signed an executive order, requiring federal agencies to remove 2 regulations for each new one they implement. Not all of the suggested regulations, though, were dropped. His regulatory rollbacks were frequently rejected or postponed by the courts due to serious legal challenges. Regarding social issues, Trump retracted workplace rights for LGBT people and limited federal financing to organizations that offer referrals or induced miscarriages. Federal justices stopped his administration's attempt to remove some of the anti-discrimination protections for transgender patients. Trump first opposed gun control laws, but after multiple major shootings, he changed his mind. He is in favor of the death penalty and repealed the protections granted to states that legalized marijuana. During the previous 56 years, he witnessed more federal executions than any other administration. Another major focus of Trump's presidency was immigration. In addition to denouncing birthright citizenship, he stressed the need to deport millions of undocumented immigrants and promised to build a border wall with Mexico, saying that Mexico would pay for it. Regarding foreign policy, Trump was characterized as a nationalist and defined his approach as America first. He openly backed and praised authoritarian, populist, and nationalist regimes across the world, and his unpredictable and inconsistent approach to foreign policy frequently strained relations with long-standing European partners. Trump started a trade war with China by sharply increasing tariffs on Chinese imports, removed the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership discussions, and slapped tariffs on steel, aluminum, and other Chinese goods. What happened to Trump after that? And who removed him from the White House? To find out, keep watching. Trump's losing to Biden and post-presidency crisis. Beginning in early 2020, Donald Trump voiced concerns that extensive mail-in voting could result in fraud, and made unfounded accusations that the impending presidential election would be rigged. Trump vetoed a $25 billion grant to the Postal Service that the House of Representatives had planned to meet the expected surge in mail voting, claiming his concerns about the expansion of mail-in ballots as his reason. He was consistently vague throughout the campaign season about his intentions to accept the results of the election and guarantee a peaceful handover of power in the event that he was defeated. Joe Biden received 81.3 million votes, or 51.3% of the total, while Donald Trump received 74.2 million votes, or 46.8%, on November 3, 2020. Electoral College votes were 306 for Biden and 232 for Trump. There were major legal problems for Trump once he left office. In order to probe Trump's alleged role in the Capitol uprising on January 6th and his retention of official documents at Mar-a-Lago, U.S., Attorney General Merrick Garland designated federal prosecutor Jack Smith as special counsel on November 18, 2022. It should be mentioned that the House Select Committee on the January 6, 2022 attack has suggested criminal charges against Trump, including obstruction of an official procedure, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and encouraging or supporting an uprising. As reported on December 19, 2022, a federal grand jury in Miami indicted Trump on 31 counts of espionage, false statements, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and other connected offenses on June 8, 2023. The indictment dealt with the preservation of national defense material and other related matters. After Trump entered a not guilty plea in July 2023, additional indictments were announced. The judge's decision to postpone the trial until May 2024 has now been extended indefinitely. In addition, Trump was indicted on racketeering charges by a grand jury in Fulton County. Georgia in August of 2023 for his alleged efforts to alter the state's election results. Trump was processed and freed on bail pending trial after surrendering to the authorities at Fulton County Jail. Some accusations were withdrawn in March 2024 after he pled not guilty. Consequently, why has Trump been making political news as of late? Now we can dive into the specifics. Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. Donald Trump officially declared his candidacy for the 2024 U.S. presidential election on November 15, 2022, and has been soliciting money for his campaign. He is the nominee of the Republican Party. His campaign commenced in March 2023, allocating 10% of its contributions to his leadership PAC. By March 2024, Trump's campaign had expended $100 million on legal expenses. In December 2023, the Colorado Supreme Court declared that Trump was unable to participate in the state's Republican primary due to his involvement in sparking the January 6, 2021 unrest. In March 2024, the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously determined that Colorado lacked the jurisdiction to implement a clause of the 14th Amendment that disqualifies insurrectionists from federal office, permitting Trump to stay on the ballot. During his campaign, Trump has issued progressively hostile and authoritarian statements. He has vowed to deploy federal law enforcement against his political adversaries and has used harsh, degrading language toward immigration that renders his campaign rhetoric seem mild. Joe Biden, the current president of the Democratic Party, and Donald Trump, his predecessor from the Republican Party, appear to be the principal candidates for the presidency. Nonetheless, the situation altered following a notably catastrophic debate performance by Biden on the evening of June 27th. His evident distress during the debate generated immediate skepticism among Democrats on his ability to lead the nation. As the pressure intensified and inquiries over his candidacy escalated, Biden took the difficult choice to withdraw on July 21st. He expressed solidarity by endorsing his vice president, Kamala Harris, as the Democratic contender to succeed him in the election. This transformation has resulted in a distinct mood for the forthcoming presidential election. What is Jon Stewart revealing about Trump and Laura? What is her relationship with him? Remain attentive while we discover the outcome. Jon Stewart just exposed the whole damn thing about Trump and Laura Loomer. A lot of attention has recently been directed towards Laura Loomer, who is an amazing American woman. Her perseverance and conviction have been lauded by Trump. Whenever Trump sees Loomer, he can't help but compliment her. Attending a contentious event was Loomer, who identifies as a far-right internet troll and conspiracy theorist. Because it appears like an atheist attending Easter Mass, this has perplexed many. Marjorie Taylor Greene, in an unusual display of moderation, criticized Loomer for her racist ideas, highlighting how severe her views are. Loomer has been particularly poisonous in her recent social media remarks. She made disparaging remarks about Kamala Harris and insulted the late Sheila Jackson Lee, among other things. She even said that the White House would smell like curry if Harris were to win. Some wonder why Trump would choose to engage with Loomer given her history of racist remarks directed towards several women of color, such as Harris and Letitia James. Within the MAGA community, Loomer is well known for his hate speech and conspiracy theories. Her extremist statements have resulted in her removal from social media, DoorDash, and all other delivery apps. But she has been Donald Trump's specter, and the press adores photographing their intimate moments. So naturally, many are curious about their romance. A recent story by Laura Loomer claimed that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are in an organized relationship with the intention of influencing the 2024 election. This made a lot of people wonder if Loomer, who is close to Trump, is also involved in a similar plot to influence the election, as Jon Stewart reveals. Though it's unnerving, Loomer may be the solution to our earlier speculations about Trump's associates. It wasn't Melania, though. Loomer has spoken out against the media's fabrication of false information, citing the accusations that she had an affair with Trump in particular. She calls these claims insulting and malicious, directed at Trump and Melania. She claims the media would be enraged and accuse them of misogyny if a left-wing journalist were in her shoes, asserting that they are bullying a woman. Loomer draws parallels between herself and Kamala Harris. suggesting that some women climb the political ladder by unethical means. Whereas Kamala Harris slept with influential men to advance her career, she claims I don't. In defending herself, Loomer says the accusations against her are horrible and that she does not want to be called a malicious conspiracy theorist. We are currently witnessing an unusual political dynamic, with Donald Trump and Taylor Swift engaged in a struggle. Swift, who is now well recognized as a prominent personality fighting against Trump, recently supported Kamala Harris for vice president. On Truth Social, Trump responded by saying he doesn't like Swift, which might turn off millions of her followers. Trump seems to have sidelined the musical idols who formerly represented the traditional American way in favor of conspiracy theorists like Loomer. It appears that Trump's strategy is to associate himself with individuals who are not just supportive of him but also harbor animosity for his adversaries. It is clear that Trump's campaign slogan, "I'm going to hire the best people," was not true. If Loomer were to secure a second term in office, he would be surrounded by loyalists who prioritize their position over public perception. The previous 4 years were insane, but under Loomer's leadership, the next 4 will be far worse. Regarding Trump and Laura, what are your thoughts on Jon Stewart's comments? Where does Stewart stand? Post your opinions in the space provided. You have my gratitude for taking the time to view this video. Hopefully, you were captivated by it. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. To view the next video and read up on your favorite celeb news, click here. We will meet there.